So welcome to my channel. Basically, the number of visas that are rejected far outweigh the number of visas that are generally granted. When you're thinking about a country like the UK, or even other countries such as Australia, the US, Canada, and just other European countries where people are trying to get to, you will see that most of these reasons are the same across these countries. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you the top 5 reasons for visa rejection last year. And I'm going to be thinking particularly about the UK because this is the country that I know that most of the people that are watching my videos want to move to the UK or are already in the UK. So it is very important whether you're still applying for a brand new visa or you're already in the UK, to switch your visa at some point. You 100% want to watch this video, and well done for clicking because, it is the perfect thing definitely to do. So if you're a returning subscriber, I really do appreciate the time you take to watch these videos, and I hope that you're actually not only watching the videos, but you're implementing the information in it. If you're new to the channel, it's such a pleasure to have you. Do join the family by subscribing so that you're the first to be notified every single time when I drop a new video. Because look, I drop a new video on here most days at 8 a.m. prompt, so you want to make sure that you're notified. And by the way, before I forget, I'm doing a live session this January where I'm going to be talking about why you should 100% move to the UK in 2023, how you can move, what are the different pathways, skilled, unskilled, student. It doesn't matter whether you've got any qualifications, you've got a degree or not. So you want to make sure that you check the comment section. You're going to see a link to my newsletter. When you join that newsletter, I'm going to send you information for that live session, the link to join when it's all ready and set to go. Also, if you're already in the UK, career progression is something that I'm so passionate about. You 100% want to make sure that you're joining in as well. Reason number 1 is not having the right English requirements for the visa that you're applying for. Look, let me tell you, if you're applying for a UK visa, you need to make sure that you understand the type of visa that you're applying for and the English language requirements for that particular visa, because some people from certain countries don't require to have any English test written at all. Just because of your citizenship, you need to make sure is your country among that list. If your country isn't among, what language requirements do you need for the specific visa that you're applying for? Is it skilled? Is it unskilled? Is it a dependent visa? Is it a student visa? The requirements are all different. Do you need IELTS? Can you do other English tests? If you've already got a degree, can you use that? And all these different things can be so confusing that people end up getting a legit job in the UK, for example, but their visa gets rejected because they don't have the right English requirement for that particular visa that they're applying for. So this is something that is a big challenge. And I'm going to say that actually we're going to have a little exercise. Again, I know that most people that are watching my videos want to come to the UK as carers, for example. So a little exercise here is leave in the comment section, what are the language requirements for carers coming to the UK? Do you need IELTS? Do you not? If you do need IELTS, what is the acceptable score? Because look, some people will say that you don't need IELTS at all. Other people say that you need IELTS, but if you have a 4, that's fine. Other people say you need a 5. Other people say you need a 6. Other people say the higher the score, the better. Other people say the score doesn't matter. So according to you, yes, you're watching this video right now, what is the acceptable, English language requirement for carers? Leave it in the comment section, and I'm going to join you there, to just have that discussion about this particular subject, because it's something that is very, very pertinent, and it's been one of the main reasons for visa rejections, through this particular pathway, inadequate English language requirements. So again, you want to make sure that, with all the information that is available online, because, I always say there's information overload. You need to be able to see through that ton of information and find what is specific for you to make sure that you're getting the right information. Because look, you may have friends who've traveled, but if they're using different pathways, their requirements are going to be different. If they've got different qualifications from you, their requirements as well are going to be different. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to moving to the UK. Every single person, depending on their personal circumstances, they will need different things, and that's why it can become so confusing. And by the way, if you're new here, my name is Melvis. I currently work for the NHS in the UK as an advanced nurse practitioner. I have a private career coaching service where I support with career progression in the UK, because this is something that I am really passionate about. When I moved to the UK, I moved as a student, so I was studying nursing, and from there I've been able to progress from a band one carer through to working as an advanced nurse practitioner. So I support nurses, carers, student nurses, prospective student nurses, and people that are just UK visa aspirants to succeed, excel, and thrive in the UK. So if you're a carer, for example, you're trying to think, what else can I do as a carer? Look, there is a lot of opportunities in the UK. There are so many things you can do, but if you don't have the guidance, you don't know how to go about it, it can be very challenging. And especially with the job being so demanding and taking up so many hours of the day, you can become just soaked into everything. So what I do is guide you so that you can progress. If you want to progress into nursing or other things, even setting up your own side business, then this is something that you can do. In fact, one of our carers who's been part of my private coaching program, she has just had authorization to be able to start her own care agency, which is something that is huge. She'll be having carers, and in long term, she's hoping that she can also have nurses, working for her care agency. So these are some of the opportunities that are there in the UK that you can take as well. Those care agencies that are recruiting, you can start your own as well. And I have a private coaching program where I support with all this career progression, nurses that want in your positions. So you want to make sure that you're checking that out. Again, if you join obviously my newsletter, then I'm going to send most of that information to you, because that's the best way that I tend to communicate, to people that are part of my newsletter. But if you need that personalized support, that individualized support, then you need to be part of my private coaching program for us to work together and just get to make sure that you're achieving those goals. So like we've said, that is number one. Number two reason is because of fake certificate of sponsorship. So some people go online, for example, and they're like, hey, I'm living in XYZ country, I'm trying to move to the UK, and then they find somebody. Generally, these people will say, okay, if you pay me X amount of money, I'm going to get you a certificate of sponsorship, and they end up giving people fake certificates of sponsorship. Because many candidates don't even know what it is, what it should look like, and all of that, people end up parting with thousands and thousands of pounds, and then you go to the embassy and apply, and the embassy tells you you don't have a job in the UK. And look, if it seems too good to be true, it is probably not true. What do I mean? I saw a nurse who paid somebody about £13,000. That's a lot of money. She was from Africa. £13,000. They promised her a job basically, and when she had the certificate of sponsorship, it said that she was going to be earning £8,000 per month. And look, nobody's gonna pay you that amount of money. These people, one of the ways of knowing is that they're gonna over promise. They will tell you that you're gonna have a company car, you're gonna have a house, you're gonna have all bills included, and this and that. It is not true. Look, if it's too good to be true, it is probably not true. Because if somebody who is going to be paying you £8,000 per month, nobody will pay you that amount of money. If you're being recruited and they're telling you that you're going to work 40 hours a week and get 8,000, again, you would not earn that amount of money. If it's too good to be true, it is probably not true. So that's again another reason why so many visas actually get rejected, because people don't have the right work contract. And even though these people have given these fake documents, you end up going to the embassy, and the embassy says, you haven't got a job. So again, you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence. You need to make sure that you're researching really well when you're looking for jobs online. Be really careful, because the online environment is very good because information is easily accessible, but it can be very difficult to differentiate information that is legit and information that isn't. So again, I want to leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I will implement. Do you have any experience with things like this that you're willing to share? Has anything happened? If there's anything that is private that you're thinking, oh my God, Melvis, this thing really happened, and you don't want to share it here, feel free again to use my newsletter link. You're going to see my contacts. You can leave a question there, and obviously I'll be able to answer directly to you. So that's number two reason. And I'm going to say that, just putting some context here, putting a little bit of context, like I'm going to say, it is the fact that some of these visas have higher chances of rejection than others. So when you're choosing a type of visa to move to the UK as well, you need to be very strategic. What are the rejection rates? Who are you? What are your skills? What is your knowledge? Have you got any experience in that field? Is it something that you're likely to get a visa for? You need to know. And that's why having the right information that is individualized and personalized to you is so vital. Reason number three is financial requirements. Look, if you're looking for a job in the UK, the fees are very high. They also need maintenance requirements. So generally speaking, they want to see about £1,270 in your account for at least the last 28 days from when you're applying for the visa. What this means is that if you're applying for a UK visa, or you're applying for jobs, that money should already be in your account, because you don't know at what point you're going to be getting a job. Because you don't know, you need to make sure that you've got the money already, which means that if you're watching this right now and you're applying for UK jobs as we speak, you should have money already in your account for the type of visa that you're applying for. And that is why knowing your personal circumstances and the best visa type for you is so important, because you will make sure that you're getting those requirements ready. And by the way, I've done a video about the requirements that you need, if you want a UK visa. So you want to check that video out, because it's going to give you all of that info, everything that you need, because you don't want to struggle, get a legit job and then get rejected because you haven't got the financial requirements. And look, there are also tips and ways that you can use to show financial capability without necessarily having that money yourself. Again, depends on the type of visa, depends on who you are, but obviously these are things that I normally would discuss in my private coaching program with the members to make sure that that we have zero rejections, because you need to make sure that you dot your T's and cut all your I's, because the truth is the UK is desperate for staff, desperate for people to come here and work, but it always seems as if they are ready to just reject those visa applications. So you need to be really, really strategic. You need to make sure that you are smart enough. And if you're watching this and you like the content, by the way, just hit that like button, because it lets me know that you're enjoying it and that I should do more of it, because it just motivates and encourages me to know that yes, this is something that you need. Because most of these videos that I do is because people have actually written to me asking these questions, especially using my newsletter. I get so many questions a day, through that, and it's really helpful because I can then answer, and it helps many more people as well, because I know that it can be challenging getting to know this information, getting to know exactly what to do, and it's just really overwhelming. But that's why all of this information is there to support you, to guide you, so that you can implement. So leave a comment and say, Melvis, I will implement. And also make sure that you do our exercise. What are the English requirements for a carer in the UK? Do you need IELTS? Do you not? If you do need IELTS, what is the acceptable score to come as a carer? So I want to see that comment in the comment section. The number 4 reason is lies. The good old telling lies. So many people actually lie on their visa application. Look, let me tell you that with the advent of technology and computers and software, many of these countries like the UK, Australia, Canada, US, they have a database that they're able to find out if you've had visa rejection in the past, which means, for example, if you've tried to go to the US and you've had your visa application rejected, or you've been deported from, I don't know, Australia or whatever, just give an example, or you've previously been to the UK and overstayed, your visa, or you've gone against anything. Look, you need to declare it if you're applying for another visa. You need to be honest. You need to say, look, in 2010, I did XYZ. You need to declare it in all your future visa applications. If you don't, if they say, oh, have you ever, been rejected from a visa or whatever, and you say no, when the answer is yes, they're going to find out. And this is one of the reasons as well why they tend to reject people's visas, because they haven't been honest. So you need to be really, really, really honest. And they're not going to say no because of what's happened in the past, obviously depending on what happened, but you need to be honest about it and explain as much as possible. Even if you need extra, you need to explain and attach any sort of documents that are going to support the reasons why you had that rejection, or the reason why you were deported, or whatever. You need to have as much evidence as possible and include all of that evidence in there. If there's any evidence that you're thinking, should I include this, should I not? Then look, the answer is yes, do include that evidence, because the likelihood is that it is going to be needed and it's going to have its place. So telling lies, it's a massive issue. Lies with regards to anything, it could be that some people are coming and they want to say that, oh, say Mary, for example, is my relative, when Mary is not. Dependent visa pathway, for example. This again is one of the reasons why people get rejections. Somebody says, oh, this is my daughter, and then they're like, hey, can we have the birth certificate? There's no birth certificate, or it's all fake. So basically, you need to be very careful. you need to make sure that you're just honest about things, because you're likely to be successful if you're honest and you come up, up front and say, look, XYZ happened, and this is the reason why it happened. And people will understand, because look, in life, things happen. In life, things happen, and that is okay. Life is not all perfect, and everybody understands that. So you need to just talk about your situation the way it is, without worrying that if you say the truth, they're going to reject the visa, because you're likely going to have a rejection by telling lies, basically. So you want to be honest. Then number 5 reason, and by the way, if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, you do want to hit subscribe right now, turn on that notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a new video. And if you haven't joined my newsletter, like I said, I'm going to be doing that session. And also I just send really helpful, useful information to you, directly to your inbox, without you relying on the YouTube algorithm to decide what content should Melvis see, what content should she not see, what's good for Melvis, what isn't good for Melvis. You want to make sure that you join that newsletter and get that information directly to yourself. And it's also a good way to ask questions or discuss things that are more private that you don't necessarily want to put on YouTube for the world to see, because I do understand that sensitivity. Being a nurse myself, there are certain things that you just want a little bit more privacy, isn't it, to discuss. And better still, if you need that personalized advice and you need that individualized support, then you should 100% consider joining my private coaching program, because that's where I'm able to really support you, guide you, work with you in order for you to achieve your goal, whether it's moving to the UK or you're already in the UK and you want career progression. You're like, oh my God, I'm stuck as a nurse. What else can I do? I'm stuck as a carer. What else can I do? Then you want to join that private coaching program for that support. We normally have weekly live sessions where we just go through everything, answer your questions, talk about specific topics, career progression pathways, what are the apprenticeships going, what are the scholarships that are available, how do you apply for those scholarships, support you practically to apply, so that you can also continue to progress in the UK without necessarily having to pay. Because look, there are many pathways in the UK that you can progress, through without necessarily paying tuition fees. So these are generally apprenticeships, but if you don't know how to apply, you don't know what apprenticeships are available for what courses, it can be a challenge, because you could be paying £17,000 per year in tuition fees when actually you could be entitled to even do that course for free. So again, these are the sorts of things that I offer in my private coaching program, because we're able to just tailor that experience and get to know people better. In a place like YouTube, I don't know who's watching the video. I don't know what their personal circumstances are. It's impossible to tailor the experience and tailor the information to a specific person. So information on YouTube is generally way more generic, and that's why you need to be careful when you're applying and implementing the information that is available. So again, that's just something I thought, is really important to talk about. Then the number 5 reason is time. And by the way, because you've watched till now, I'm going to give you a tip. Look, when it comes to UK visas, the highest visa that has rejections is tourist visa. So visitor visas have the highest level of rejection when it comes to UK visas. Then the second one is family visas. Family visas have the highest level of, the second highest rejection levels when it comes to visas. The third is work visas, and then the last one is student visas, which means that you're more likely to get a UK student visa than any other visa. And obviously, as students, you're coming in to study, you're bringing in a lot of money to the country. So there are many reasons why this visa has very few rejections. And because when you're applying to study, you apply directly to the university, you're less likely, obviously, to have those other challenges that we explained before. And that's why you see that student visas have the highest level of success when it comes to applying for UK visas. So the last reason is time. Look, different visas have different time, that you need to apply. So for example, if you are applying for a work visa, when exactly should you apply for that visa? The times are very specific for each type of visa. Again, this is where having personalized and individualized information is very important, because depending on your type of visa, the time is going to be different. You know, when can you move to the UK? It is different for every visa. If you're coming as a student, there is only so long before your course that you're able to come to the UK or allowed to come to the UK. If you're coming, you know, on a skilled worker visa, there is only so long that you have before you can get into the UK, depending on your certificate of sponsorship, what is your start date. So all those different things influence whether you get the visa or not. And that's why, again, like I say, having that individualized information, personalized information is incredibly, you know, important. So again, you know, I'm here to just give that information and hope that you're implementing, because this year I'm calling it a year for implementation. It's all about the implementation. There is no, oh yeah, thank you for this information, and then you go and do absolutely nothing. What is the point? You know, you need to implement the information. You need to make sure that you're sieving out from all these things to get information that is relevant, specific to you, so that you can thrive, you can excel, you can achieve your goals. Because look, that's the ultimate aim. You know, I really appreciate you watching this video till now. I hope that you found it incredibly helpful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'm going to join you there and we can just interact and answer those questions. Remember our exercise, you know, if you're a carer, you know, what are the language requirements, the English requirements for carers? If you're writing out, for example, what is acceptable ALT score for being a carer in the UK? What do you think it is? And again, do join my newsletter because you know, I can then send info directly to your inbox so that there's less chances of you missing out important and relevant information. So thank you for your time and do have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.